My name is Darth Arma, and I have the pleasure of being joined here at this desk by the original Nightwolf main back in the MK9 days, two-time EVO medalist,
Wow.
EVO finalist in both MKX and Injustice 2, and of course, our scene's best down player, Big D. Thank you so much for being here, man.
I am so happy you threw in that last little comment. Just it's like the cherry on top of what it was. I thought was a nice little bit of touch. I do pride myself on downplaying, just
You're
for
the
the
best.
record. Especially now that I'm retired, I feel like I'm a lot more safe to do that. But thank you. We are back with Mortal Kombat action. Now, we are going to start off with a couple last matches of pools, the Block C, to see who makes it into the top 16 that will be playing on later this evening. So we'll be going with a couple overdraft matches, and then we'll be leading into Pool D.
Yeah, and so just to sum up pools, as they've already been updated on Smash.gg, you guys can follow along on Smash.gg. Sonic Fox made it out of their pool in winners, and Kombat has also made it out of their pool in winners. So we're just trying to solidify the finals here. And with this match coming up, we have Ninja Killa versus Bernanoni in winners finals of C2. Again, you guys can follow along at Smash.gg, but it looks like buttons are checked. These guys are ready to go.
And now we're finally seeing a little bit of Jade and variation to Jade at that. I'm very curious to see how much match knowledge Ninja Killa has. I would grant that he would have a lot. Down 2 punish to start us off.
And it's a really good start. And I think Ninja Killa is assessing the situation. Great reactions there of Jade turning on the purple, going right to her with that flying kick.
And then right there with the corner pressure, this is where we know Liu Kang thrives at. Right up close, right in your face, and now even going for the grab moves.
Didn't commit to the whole thing, possibly could have got a crushing blow, but maybe holding on to it.
At this point, I think it's smart just to hold on to it.
Yeah.
You have such a huge life lead, and even then just a 1-2-3 just to close it out. You like to hold on to your resources for as long as possible. Use them when you really need to use them.
Yeah, absolutely, especially considering that life lead, huge, but hold on. Counter hit in the corner, we all know how much this hurts. No, he dropped it.
Really uncharacteristic of Ninja Killa, but regardless, still has the corner pressure, still making it work. A flawless block on the wake up, and this is just, the life bar is just melting away.
It is Big D indeed. Here just melting away before his eyes. Great punish of that roll out, and Ninja Killa off to a great start, getting that game #1 here.
And that was just absolutely quick work. We're going straight back to the character select screen. Maybe Jade wasn't really the right pick to make here.
Yeah, possibly not. Maybe go back to Jade. Possibly. I didn't see what variation Bernanoni did select.
He
but
went to go ahead to switch. He's going with variation 1. Maybe the air glaives are going to help him out a little bit more. We'll have to wait and see, but just the pressure by Ninja Killa's Liu Kang is so suffocating that I don't know if air glaives is really going to be able to help that much more.
Yeah, Ninja Killa is definitely a patient player, so he's going to, take his time, hunt out those glaives, and take back the real estate any way he can. Great start here, going right into the air glaives, variation specific to this Emerald Defender that he just switched to.
A couple plus frames here, and then right there, he's flawless blocking a lot of these down fours. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but that's really impressive.
Ninja Killa is one of the best at flawless blocking, not even just in an offensive way, but almost in any way possible. Great forward dash, possibly trying to get him to bite. No, nothing. I don't think that breakaway was intentional at all.
That definitely seemed to be a little bit of a mistake. That could cost him a little bit here. Bernanoni does have the life lead right now. Goes for the counter. And again, this is what we know Jade to do. It's little bits of damage, nothing super impressive, but it all adds up.
It definitely does. It definitely does. Jumping over and rolling away again. Jade wants to stay as far away from Liu Kang as possible. Throws on the purple. Now when she is glowing purple like that, that means Liu Kang's fireballs will not connect, but that flying kick always will.
Oh, and there you go. There's a little punish there. Going to spend the bar, closing out the first round. Now Ninja Killa on set point to advance into top 16.
Round 2, fight.
So goes with the low fireball to start us off, trying to control that mid-range there. Beautiful standing 1 anti-air as well.
Yeah, absolutely textbook. Has him in the corner. Get a little stagger. And hold on, we got a parry.
So goes with the 4-3 stagger. Okay, now you're getting a little bit too cute with it.
A little too cocky there. I don't think Ninja Killa liked that at all.
The reversal punish there, the matchup knowledge.
He just did it. He just did down 2 into the crushing blow, forcing Ninja Killer to come off 2 bars, break away because he doesn't want to take the damage.
Absolutely the Jade special. When in doubt, down 2, and the back grab to follow up. All of this real estate to work with if he chooses to back up with Ninja Killer throwing out fireballs, contesting that space.
And again, throwing on the purple stuff, dousing herself in there, but still susceptible to the flying kick. And the follow-up fireball, Ninja Killer taking it in convincing fashion, 2-0. Unfortunately, he did not start with that variation and started with the Jaded variation, which, you know, really got crushed there by Ninja Killer.
Definitely. And also, Jaded, from what we're starting to see out of that variation, is definitely more interested in being up close and personal with the plus frames that comes to offer with the pole vault cancel into the shadow kick. But you don't want to be up close against Liu Kang. You want to stay far away. So I think the switch was the right call. Unfortunately, just a little bit too late. And that really is, that's all there was. Ninja Killer just really ran through him.
Yeah, he did. And you know, like you said, you don't want to be up close with Liu Kang, especially when he's got one of the best mids in the business.
Best mids in the business, some of the best crushing blows you could ask for in a character. Great normals, absurd damage in my opinion. And good, you know, fireballs to really contest the space with it. Just an all-around solid character, but Burning Odin's not out of it. That was the winner's side, so he's not out of it just yet. He's gonna have to work his way through losers if he wants to make it to the top 16. That will be playing later on this evening. But now, PL going against Arm Kratos.
Perfect Legend taking on Arm Kratos, who made it here all the way from his homeland, his home country of Russia, if I remember correctly. And a little side note from the last match, Bernanoni is going to go down to the lower bracket to face Deadly Rebel.
Oof.
I don't know if we're going to get that one on stream. Hopefully someone's going to record it, so be on the lookout for that intense match.
Hopefully we'll be able to give an update on that, because that is going to be insane. I mean, we all saw what happened between Deadly Rebel and Ninja Killer earlier. That was an insane set. But now we have PL going up against Arm Kratos. Arm Kratos did pull an upset earlier using Shang, which I was really happy to see. We haven't seen a lot of Shang lately, especially, you know, with the likes of Foxy Grandpa and maybe a couple other players as well. PL, a couple characters at his disposal. We've been seeing a lot of Collector out of him. But has been in talks of using Raiden, and even he went back to Kung Lao for one set.
Yeah, he did when he felt like he needed to. Again, when you play all these different characters, you know, you run into these matchups. You get into something familiar, and you want to, you know, it's you know, every matchup is different. You know, you got to know how to play against certain characters. And Perfect Legend, does he have a true main?
I don't think so. I think, especially with this game, you're seeing a lot of players have an arsenal of about 2 to 3 different characters, whether it's different variations in the same character or what have you. But either way, he has all of these characters ready. So if he comes up against a matchup he might not like with the Collector, boom, he has Kung Lao. He likes it. If he's going up against a matchup he doesn't like Kung Lao with, boom, he was going to have another character at his disposal. He's one of those players that will always have an answer to a matchup. And now on the flip side, Arm Kratos, we've only really seen Shang out of him.
Yeah, we have. But PL did run into a Shang a little bit earlier in this pool, I believe, against El Kakui. But I don't remember exactly who each player was playing. I know it was a little bit of dancing around the Fighter Select stream. But I think PL is in top shape today. He's looking great.
PL did beat El Kakui to my knowledge.
Yes.
Even then, that was not an easy win. But a down 2 crushing blow to start us off. Huge damage. PL opting not to break. I'm a little surprised at that.
Yeah, I mean, that's 37%. That is so, I mean, I believe it was, I don't know. That was a lot of damage there from the down 2. Great counter from Perfect Legend. Again, that mace, one of the greatest buttons to really hit on somebody's meaty. You can just go right outside of their wake-up range and really control the pace when they get up.
So Collector, no strangers with some really respectable damage there. Almost 33%. Opening him up with these forward ones, but just not a lot of confidence in confirming them.
Yeah, he's trying to stagger, trying to keep him guessing, keep him on his toes, getting a little bit of health back as that throw only does 12%. Big jump in here from Arm Kratos, but because he was in the corner, it didn't convert correctly.
That could hurt, but he's just trying to chip him out at this point, and that will certainly do it. No last breath to work with. The corpse drop will close out the first round. Very strong.
Round 2.
Arm Kratos has all that space to back up with if he chooses to do so.
Oh, he's going the wrong way, and Perfect Legend taking him for a ride here thanks to that teleport, forcing that breakaway, forcing those 2 bars. So now he's got no wake-up resources at all. So once Perfect Legend knocks him down, it's time to play.
And this is absolutely party time for Perfect Legend. Going with a short hop into a 4-1, not sure what that was, but regardless, still gets the knockdown. Now, on Kratos, this is his time, switching position. Has a lot of work to do if he wants to come back.
Oh, looking for the short teleport, but PL did expend the defensive bar there. Has to get away, and that's a big crushing blow, 24%. Trying to get the follow-up here, but PL blocking, holding on to that block button, launches him and breaks away.
Oh, it's just out of range of the fatal blow. You know what? It's not the end of the world. That fatal blow was not going to kill. That could have actually cost it. But now, round number 3. Who's going to be able to take this first game? PL playing a lot more defensive now this time around.
Yes, definitely is. Chucking the bola, ducking right under it, trying to avoid as much chip damage as possible. Great call out on the amplified teleport there, using that defensive bar. Reversal counter, Perfect Legend trying to do something, whether that was backdashing or pressing a button, but he did not want to block, refused to block in that situation. Big jump in. Now that string does have a gap, but most people assume you're not crazy enough to do it.
And you know what? And that's good. That's good to throw it out there every once in a while, test the matchup knowledge I have. But you know what? Kratos seems relatively comfortable in this matchup. He seems to know the gaps. He seems to know the right range to play at. But PL's making a lot of right reads, but no punish on a block bola.
That was a full combo punish. Perfect Legend possibly wanted to cancel it, but just didn't.
Playing the patient game. PL teleporting right in, 4-4. Gonna smack Kratos to the ground. No hit confirmed there. Another missed punish. 4-4 again. Kratos does not want to get opened up.
He got antsy. He got antsy. Is he going to spend it? Is he going to spend it? No. Decides to hold on to it.
Next touch from either player should kill.
He got him in the air. Didn't convert to a full combo because of it. Throwing out the up skulls. This is so intense.
The clock, 7 seconds, but the punish on the fatal blow on Kratos, taking game number 1. Way too close for comfort.
He threw all caution to the wind and just dashed up, went for fatal blow. I mean, of course, hindsight is 20/20, but Kratos just sat there, blocked, waited for the opportunity. PL hung himself there at with that last play.
I think Kratos was just staring at the clock at that point. I think it was the smart move to make, but the fatal blow, really just kind of risking it all. And honestly, I think I would have much rather seen him maybe dash in, go for a shimmy, go for a grab, might have been able to pull it out there. But regardless, still playing really well. Not out of it yet. That was by no means a one-sided match.
No.
But now we're seeing PL, like we talked about, all those different characters. It's time to go Kung Lao.
I feel like I've heard this from a lot of people who play both Kung Lao and Shang Tsung, is that Shang Tsung really, if he's got those up skulls, he can control Kung Lao because Kung Lao jumps a lot. That's just how you play the character. So it's going to have to be a very different approach from PL, a little bit more conservative, not relying so much on jumping because those up skulls are going to play a big factor in this matchup.
And not to mention, like we just saw there, the down 2 by Shang is such a good anti-air. One of the few down 2s that really works from any range of a jump kick. And to confirm the follow-up, Kratos is playing super solid right now, but PL going for a little bit more of a defensive playstyle. These trades are definitely not in his favor.
That was a very risky dive kick, but it did pay off for PL. Does get the conversion afterwards. Oh, he's going for a ride.
Okay, one more touch.
Either one. Great balls block. That was key here in this tough situation, but he just doesn't. Injustice Boys off the interactable, goes for the dive kick. If he blocked it.
I can't believe he went for that. I actually can't believe he went for that. But regardless, it paid off for him. You move on. Sometimes you got to throw out the risk, and now
You have to.
corpse drops and sparks for days. It's just a defensive style. Little bits of damage, and he's just going to back off.
He wants nothing to do with that teleport. He said, I don't want to guess. I don't want to have to react to it. Just get away from me.
And again, the matchup knowledge. She knows to just play right in that space, even with the orbiting hat around the teleport. Staying away, going for the Hell Sparks to check him. And that's all it is.
Oh, looking for a down 2 there. I believe I saw the startup animation. Great punish there of that spin. Not really sure what PL was hunting.
This was board drop. Nice flawless block there. No bite on the shimmy. Kratos, his defense has been really impressive.
I love the patience there from PL block, or getting hit. Oh, hold on! As soon as I said I love the patience, here comes the fatal blow from downtown.
Hey,
but this is a questionable decision.
It is very questionable, but you know what? He has the first round. If he feels it, he feels it. But that risk is definitely not going to pay off. It is now third round with no fatal blow to work with.
Final
Yeah,
round.
a finite resource. You only get, as long as that fatal blow connects, it is gone. It is gone for the rest of the game. So PL needs to make the win the old-fashioned way.
And that is such a huge victory if you're on Kratos. To get hit by the fatal blow, now it's gone, and still win that round. He's on set point. Everything is just looking perfect for him. But PL not giving up just yet. Throwing out a couple dive kicks. He's playing a lot more sporadic now, and I think it's paying off.
And it's doing so great for him right now. He's in a groove, he's in a rhythm. You can never count out Perfect Legend. I mean, this is a multiple EVO champion, specifically an MK9, back-to-back EVO champion. Hold on, and there he is. He's here to play, tying it up 1-1.
And you just see how much more comfortable he is with Kung Lao. He's been playing the character pretty much since day one. Collector was someone he picked up a little bit more down the road after release. But he just seems to really click with this character. It doesn't matter whether it's the hit confirms or the play style behind the teleports or the mind games behind the grabs. He just seems to have it all fleshed out. And now Arm Kratos is going to stick with Warlock. There's no doubt in my mind he's going to stick with it.
Loyalist through and through. But you know what? You know, PL has to be thinking, or somewhere in his mind has got to be the idea of, I should have picked Kung Lao out the gate. I should have picked Kung Lao out the gate. And this would have been a little bit better for him. But unfortunately, we're not there. It's 1-1. Final game right here.
Starting off with the Hellsparks, now PL off a defensive meter in the first 2 seconds of the game. You're seeing Arm Kratos go straight in. He wants to deal as much damage while no breakaway is available. And here it is, a respectful 26%.
Yeah, not the most damaging combo, but you know, considering how great his zoning is, I think it fits him pretty well.
I think it was fine. It was a little bit of a change. He used to hit like an absolute truck, but even now, looking at the little bits of damage that even PL's throwing out with these hats.
Yes, and I love the meticulous setup that Perfect Legend did set up there, had the orbiting hat, goes for the dive kick, and the orbiting hat covered the punishment route, keeping Perfect Legend very safe in that situation.
Finishes the string, goes with a little bit of a skull, a little bit of extra damage, I like it.
I don't know if he wanted dive kick. I did hear a little error there from an attempt to break away. At this point, it's pretty much muscle memory, but he didn't have 2 bars of defensive meter quite yet. So Arm Kratos on match point, getting right through his Perfect Legend with that dive kick, forcing the breakaway, and the down 2.
Everything is really starting to work out for Arm Kratos. A little down 2. Even though he doesn't have any defensive meter to work with, that's why he's backing off right now. He's going to stay as far away from PL as possible until he sees some of that defensive meter come back.
Exactly. Minimize the risk any way you can, especially because Shang doesn't really have a way to spend defensive bars, specifically with his moveset. Of course, he can use a wake-up attack or a forward or back roll, but he doesn't need to right now. He is backing off. He is out-zoning, and PL needs to find his way in, and this is where it could start.
He has to make something happen right now, but a down 3 spin, laying it all out on the line, and Arm Kratos will advance to the top 16 on the winner's side, knocking PL into losers. Not out of it just yet.
Not out yet.
But down 3 spin. We saw a lot of risks out of PL there.
Yes, we
Some
did.
of them did pay off. That dive kick earlier on in the set did give him that round, but the raw fatal blow and then the down 3 spin, it was the nail in the coffin. So hopefully he ends up tightening that up a little bit as he moves on into the bracket. Because otherwise, he's been playing really solid.
He has been. I would have liked to seen a little bit more throwing there, especially, you know, you have to assess the situation. Every player plays different. Some people are more hesitant to hold on a block and they want to jump. They want to press buttons. Some players are okay with just blocking, and they'll wait for their moment. And I feel like Arm Kratos is one of those players.
I think so too. We were talking about it before about how Arm Kratos, his defense was just unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't getting opened up by any shimmies. The grab techs were pretty much there. Even though PL didn't really go for a lot of them, when they happened, Arm Kratos was there ready for it. And otherwise just controlling that space, even though that is where Shang thrives. Up close, he just seems pretty much dominant everywhere on the screen.
Yeah, man. I'm seeing a lot of great things there out of Arm Kratos. So I'm really excited that he is in the top 16 on the winner side. So far we have Sonic Fox, Ninja Killa, Arm Kratos, and Kombat making it out in the C pools, staying in the winner side. And top 16 is going to be later tonight. So you definitely don't want to go anywhere. Perfect Legend now getting knocked into the losers finals, where he's going to be facing Gur, who also lost Arm Kratos earlier in this pool.
Interesting. And now we're moving on. I believe this is definitely a loser side match. We have Zork going up against Doom. I would assume this would be for top 16 losers.
Yes, it is.
So we will be seeing all that. Zork we saw earlier playing Jackie, I believe upgraded if I'm not mistaken, and Doom is a Sonya player through and through. We saw at ECT he had a pretty dominant showing. I think he got 33rd if I'm not mistaken, and then
he had that nail biter of a match against Dizzy.
Oh, that was so sick to watch. And honestly, Doom, you could tell, hasn't really been around for a very long time. Placements-wise, hasn't really broken into like the top 16, but the potential is there. You see the knowledge in the fighting games. He has really solid patience, and the execution is definitely there. But the same can be said for Zork. I was relatively unsure of who he played, but after seeing his set against Kombat, he is not someone to be messed with. So this is potentially going to be a really juicy set. Granted, this is loser side, like you said.
Yes.
This is it. Loser is done for the tournament. You've placed in the top 32, and that's it. The winner will be able to advance on later on and play tonight, which should be around 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yes, 8 p.m. guys, so you don't want to go anywhere. Zork being, I believe he's from the New York City area, one of the boroughs, so relatively local. Has been going to a lot of local events and just put in work, and the work is paying off here. He actually almost missed his bus coming here to NEC and had to get on another one and almost didn't make it here, but he's having a fantastic showing. Big shout outs to Doom for rocking his Barnacle Boy outfit. I don't know if you caught on to that.
I was wondering what that was because I was trying to put like everything together. I'm like, all right, I see the hat, and then I didn't notice it was Barnacle Boy till I saw the blue cape. I'm like, wait. Everything's starting to make sense. I just noticed the glove on his left arm as well. Okay.
Yes, he is Barnacle Boy, and his girlfriend, I believe, is dressed up as Mermaid Man. So great little cosplay here.
All right, but now this is for the top 16 on the loser side. Doom and Zork rocking their respective characters that we've seen earlier on this afternoon. Upgraded Jackie out of Zork, and Ringmaster Sonya as we normally used to see.
Yeah, definitely. Nothing, no surprises here.
They go play in the spacing game. And I noticed, obviously Sonya is the rush down monster, but I've noticed Doom really likes to play a little bit more of a patient game.
Yes.
Oh, but it down two to crack the teeth.
It hurts. Oh, going for the dash punch, getting a little negative there as Sonya gets up a little bit sooner than Jackie anticipated. No whiff punish there on that jump in, reaching in. So Doom's got to assess the situation and know, but it's just so scary because upgraded Jackie has so many options once she leaves the ground.
And he goes for the hard knockdown, almost 38%, and a forward grab to follow up. Now Doom does have Fatal Blow. He might let it rip. One touch should be able to close it out for either player. The bait. Wait, the jump kick and the breakaway. Wait a minute, what's gonna happen? I don't know what's gonna happen. Oh my God, the down three into the tackle. That was so risky.
Down pokes do not combo into any special moves. There's a few exceptions to that, like orbiting hat, but in that situation, if Zork just kept blocking after getting hit with that poke, he would have been able to block and fully punish that leg sweep.
I like the idea that Doom just had there. He's trying to go for that crushing blow off of Sonya's anti-air. That might be the way to go about it in this matchup. Play defensive and just scout out those jumps. But honestly, Zork is all over him right now. Thankfully, Doom switching positions here.
Oh, that's a big whiff. That was a big whiff, and that could have been really, really bad for Zork there, but Doom let it go. Great anti-air, right into the crushing blow. The face just eating the pavement there.
Unfortunate drop for Doom. The crushing blow is gone, and so goes that second round with it. Moving into the third round here. Doom, a little bit of a meter deficit there, but nonetheless still playing really well, and we're seeing the solid defense, but getting cracked in the face.
Yes, that's a full screen crushing blow there, but a crushing blow of Sonya's own there, getting hit by that amplified ring by itself does lead into some good damage. 24% ain't bad at all.
Now here comes Zork again. Definitely gonna spend the second bar. Hopefully Doom gets off of that meter. No, tried to read the breakaway, goes for the down two.
Yeah, definitely. That's why he is an unintentional side switch here by Zork, but hey, he was able to clean up and take this first game over. Doom, Zork having a fantastic showing so far. So much on the line here.
Listen, if I'm Zork right now, I'm thinking about how happy I am I caught that second bus. I mean, you're taking a look. That was a beautiful third round. I think he's going just more aggressive. He seemed in the beginning to kind of just walk his way in, but remember, Upgraded has all the mobility you could possibly ask for, and I think now he's finally starting to use it.
I mean, that's a great way to sum it up. Mobility, when you can jump in from anywhere on the screen, down to crushing blow, gonna convert into a lot of damage, goes for the aggressive breakaway to try to punish Jackie on the recovery frames there, but to no avail, still gets the momentum in his side, looking for the anti-air, but Jackie wasn't quite there yet. Takes her down here with the leg sweep. And again, you know, Zoom trying his best to anti-air Jackie, but again, you have to kind of guess. You have to know when she's gonna mess with her trajectory, when she's gonna commit to the regular jump in. There's just so many options, so hard to cover all of them.
And that's the perfect way to look at it, because even though he's trying to anti-air, he doesn't want to overextend it. If he doesn't think it's going to anti-air, he's not going to go for it. And I think that's what's helping him keep these life leads, because one little mistake on an anti-air against upgraded Jackie, you're eating at least 32%. And now Doom, taking the first round, has a chance to put us in a 1-1.
Yes, definitely does.
Taking his time.
Yeah, down pokes here. Jackie jumping in for a full combo. Does have the corner positioning here, so gonna do a little bit extra damage. And Doom breaking away at the very end of that combo. I don't know if I agree with it.
Yeah, that was a super late breakaway now. And now he has to deal with all of this corner pressure, plus frames across the board. Like, you have no defensive meter. This is your home now for the remainder of the round. But thankfully, the little side switch there, and now it's his turn.
Oh, he dropped the ring cancel. He dropped the ring cancel, but gets her. Beautiful whip punish here.
Oh no, misses the confirm on that. And honestly, that was the best way to go about that. 1-3-4, right in the fatal blow. You already won the first round. Let it happen, and here we go.
Can we talk about that induced salt moment there? Going straight into fighter select, looking desperately for that restart match, but it was disabled. But I don't know, man. Some people hate the option to go right into it. I think it's a great way to just kind of illuminate how under their skin you got. When you're playing someone in a tournament setting and they go right to rematch or fighter select, you know you got under their skin. You know they're playing on tilt right now.
And you could see it in Zork's face. He's obviously not very happy about that, but it's not really that he was making a lot of mistakes. I think there were just a lot of hard reads on Doom's side, and then that unfortunate side switch into the corner that gave Doom all that space to work with.
Killed him.
I mean, having your back in the corner against Sonya is like a top 5 NRS nightmare. Now,
yeah, when you're up in the corner, you have nowhere to go, very little real estate to play with. So, you know, it's a lot harder to you know, predict what your opponent's going to be doing when your movement is so predictable.
Now, forward grabs, we're seeing a lot more grabs out of Doom now. I like it. I like the switch to really not really focus on the 50-50s, but go for the striker grab game.
Yeah. Keeping it simple here. Great little delay wake up there, getting him on the recovery frames and just cleaning up like nothing. This is dominance from Doom. The momentum has not shifted yet.
And there we go. Pretty much exchanging whips there, and now Zork forcing Doom off of the meter, and it confirmed the follow-up. This is definitely looking like Zork's round right now. Well, as easy as you have a life lead, it can be taken away. And that is exactly what Doom looks like to do. Look at all of this pressure, cancel pressure.
Oh!
And it's down 2.
And that is not an easy thing to do against Jackie, but he drops the follow-up. Doom, what are you doing? Hold on, you got fatal blow, so it's okay. Doom cleaning up. And Zork wants to see none of that. Going down, getting 17th place here in Pool C4. Unfortunate for Zork. He had a great showing. That was tough. That was a tough bracket for him.
It seemed like that set was going to be his, but Doom made a few adjustments, went way more on the staggers in the striker grab game, and that's where it started to pay off. And just a little bit of the exchange on the whiffs, unfortunately, just paid out for Doom there.
It did. I would have liked to see a little bit more restraint from Zork. And again, he's a new player, newcomer. I would have liked to see him, you know, take the approach of, let me just go to character select, let me breathe.
Right.
Let me figure out, why did I lose? Why is he understanding everything I'm doing? But he didn't. He didn't even want to watch the fatality screen, a possible fatality that could have came. He just went right into fighter select, and you just go fast. Some players can operate like that, but I think more times than none, it's better to just kind of take that breath.
I'm one of the other players, like when I was competing, you need to take a step back. It's just the easiest way to kind of assess everything that's going on. And things might have been really different between them if he took a step back, but Doom's adaptation really just exceeded Zork's, and I think that's really what the main focal point of the set was. But now we are moving on to PL against Gur. Now this is interesting.
Yeah,
This is interesting.
Tell me.
Hayate was in this pool.
He was. He lost to Gur in, I want to say, losers round 3.
Wow, so
Very
Hayate's
bad.
eliminated.
Yes, Hayate is eliminated, and the other player that's eliminated is Jelly Jiggler. The player formerly known as Tweety
Wait,
is eliminated from the tournament. Yes, Tweety lost to Doom actually in that pool that we just saw on the lower side.
that's
an upset. That is an upset.
That is 100% an upset because I'm looking over here. Jelly Jiggler, aka Tweety, as of this weekend, before any of the action started, was sitting at 10th in the pro competition with 645 points. Now, we've said time and time again, this is the last stop for the pro competition.
Last one.
Not including the LCQ, of course, but still, being at 10th with 645, the rest of the points of people that are right behind him, you know, Scar in 11th with 595, Samij in 12th with 455, Kombat in 13th with 395. These are very small gaps in points. There is a timeline where Tweety gets knocked way farther down than he wants to be.
Good.
Does it mean he won't qualify for the finals? We don't know. We're gonna have to wait to see how this weekend goes. But him being eliminated like that is a really, really stressful situation for him. Hayate a little bit farther up, sitting at 8th place in the pro competition with 730 points. He's essentially guaranteed. While this is not the best confidence booster for him, he can still take it as a learning experience and move forward. The pressure is still off. The future is still bright. And now, Gur, rocking Garrus. I wonder which variation he's going to pick. He has been playing a lot of Eternal. And then PL, as we talked about before, millions of different characters. Right now, we'll be seeing Collector.
Yeah, Perfect Legend kind of, and again, this is a button check, so he's not committed to this character, but I've been seeing PL start a lot of these sets as Collector here. Now, Gur, I would say, is probably not a player that is unfamiliar with pretty much any matchup. He plays a lot, plays with the best players over and over again on, you know, this game's amazing netcode. So all the matchup knowledge is anybody's, as long as you're able to, you know, campaign, go out there, find those matchups, find those players, get those games, anyone can do it. And Gur can absolutely do it here. Not qualified for Final Combat just yet. One of those players that is just outside of it. So if Gur has a really great showing, possibly wins this event, he could qualify.
He needs to place incredibly high.
Yes,
love how,
very high.
I love how everyone goes to shake PL's hand, but he likes to fist bump because, you know, hands get clammy, you get nervous, he doesn't want to exchange any of that. But now, this is an important match for both players, but more so for Gur, because again, he needs at least a 4th place to really, you know, really have a chance at the finals. Because no one really wants to have to focus on winning an LCQ to make it to the finals. But now, PL getting a grab to connect. And we're seeing spare change. We haven't seen this out of PL yet.
Yeah, going with spare change where he's going to be throwing a lot of green fire on the ground and on top of his opponent. So whenever you see the opponent on fire or the ground they're standing on fire, it's doing damage over time. Gur getting a little tricky here, going with the command grab, getting that little damage boost thanks to the corner.
That is such a dirty setup.
It is.
It pretty much guarantees either a forward 2 or exploding the teleport, going for a follow-up afterwards. But even now, look at all the damage Gur is taking from that, from pretty much the poison.
Yes, the DOT is very serious. Damage over time as long as you're standing on top of those flames.
And I already see why he went spare change. He could lob that the vial over that teleport, over the clone to make sure that he stays away from it, and he's pretty much essentially getting free damage right now.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Again, look at the DOT doing so much. Gur letting those hit on the floor there, teleporting, using that clone. And what a flawless block to stop the jump in here. Gur confirming right into that up 2 gears. That's one of the best flawless block up 2s in the business.
And Gur's done so well working on those flawless blocks. I have not seen him do it this much ever in the pro competition. And it has saved him time and time again and carrying PL all the way to the corner. The momentum is starting to shift. Down 2-2. Pretty much stuff that up 2 attempt on PL. Couple down twos in there, and here comes the setup. What is it gonna be? Nice defense, and that is guaranteed as well. You have to guess.
Oh no, it hurts so bad. Chucking the interactables, go for the teleport instead of the sand explosion. And here comes the frog splash here from Geras and Gur, solidifying that first game, trying to make his way into the top 16 on the lower side over Perfect Legend, two-time Mortal Kombat 9 EVO champion.
And you can always tell that regardless of what the game is, PL's knowledge in fighting games will always be there.
Absolutely,
The
fundamentals carry over.
It is. It's like riding a bicycle. You know, maybe you have to shake off the rust a little bit, but the knowledge is always going to be there. And now he's looking at a different character that we actually haven't talked about. I have not seen him play Scorpion. Mind you, I'm pretty sure I just saw Variation 3, so which is going to be Misery Blade.
Misery Blade and the MKX neutral jump punch.
Which I thought was a super cool addition.
Oh, yes.
Just for the record, I have to stand a little bit. I thought that was super sick.
It was great, man. A great throwback and a reference to Mortal Kombat X. I mean, I just love all the little details that they put into the game. So now, Perfect Legend with Misery Blade, he's going to have access to canceling the blade stance, hitting him with the nub, which hits mid, or going for the very risky overhead or low option. And there it is. That's the MKX neutral jump punch. And,
I'm trying to figure out why PL would go Scorpion in this matchup.
To just shut off the options, possibly trying to react to anything Geras does, because Scorpion does have the ability to do that with his teleport, but right now it's not really working out for him. But hold on, getting it started here. Gonna convert to damage, not commit into the spear because he knew the breakaway was available. So smart stuff here by Perfect Legend.
Super intelligent. By both players, honestly. Gur trying to get that punish in there by breaking away Let, and PL scouting that out. And now he's not out of it just yet. One little touch can really put him back in, but the shimmy into the forward two. Gur taking the first round on set point to advance into the loser's top 16. PL not out of it just yet, but really needs to make something happen.
Oh, great flawless block here from Gur, knowing that Perfect Legend was gonna block right after that and possibly go for it. Hold on!
God.
How did he know? How did he know when to do this?
Every single time, his timing is just absolutely perfect. Beautiful mind game there with the clone. Just goes for the command grab and gives it to him again. 150 damage, 15% every single time, and just this corner lockdown. Interactable to follow up. This is all Gur. PL on his last legs here at NEC. Goes for the teleport, the punish to follow, and Gur will swiftly take that 2-0.
And Perfect Legend tried to mix it up there a little bit at the end, not amplifying the teleport even though he had the meter to do so. He was just trying to get Gur to think that the amplified second hit was coming, but Gur was on top of it, man. That thing said punish, Gur was right on it. Those reactions from Gur, incredible.
The reactions, but again, the flawless blocks. Like, he's quickly becoming one of the best in the scene to really have the flawless blocks, whether it's off of pokes, whether it's off of jump attacks, and that really does shift the momentum because it might force someone off of a breakaway like what we saw there a few times, actually. That's what helped him keep that life lead, and then the mind games with Eternals just, it's just so dirty.
So good, it's so good. Command grab before the clone, command grab after the clone, you just don't know. And that command grab, one of the few command grabs that hits as a mid in this game, so you have to jump it. And we all know how scary it is to jump.
Especially against Geras. Of all characters, Geras, you don't want to jump at, but you're pretty much forced to at that point. And now, speaking of scary characters.
All right, so we have Coach Steve going up against Biohazard. Now, that last match was the losers finals, and Gur's going to be advancing over Perfect Legend. This is our last losers finals of C pool, C1. Losers finals is Coach Steve versus Biohazard. Now we saw Biohazard had a great showing against the wondrous Sonic Fox, who has claimed they were going all collector this tournament. And you know, it looked like Biohazard had it under control with Ripper. And Sonic Fox, always able to clutch it out.
I mean, that's just the type of player that Fox is, you know? And then Biohazard, I mean, that set was phenomenal. I had the pleasure of getting to watch that over here on the table. And I'm telling you right now, I was so impressed, again, with the flawless blocks. It's really seeming to be the meta with especially the aggressive characters. You know, you take your turns, but when it's not your turn, you have to instill that fear of the flawless block reversal, which Bio really seems to be perfecting over these past few months, and it's really starting to show. But he's going to be going up against Coach Steve, fresh off a top 8 at ECT. Phenomenal performance. And regardless of the third variations that were added, still sticking with first round knockout.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. One of the few Jackie players actually.
Jackie
Oh, well, we did see Biohazard using Terminator.
Let's go.
I'm trying to remember, who did Bio beat? Was it right before Sonic Fox? I remember seeing a command grab
It was
connecting
right
with
before
Terminator.
I'm gonna have to get back to it. I commentated that with Destroyer just earlier, not even an hour ago, but it was so hype. I actually don't remember half the set.
Yeah, so sometimes you get that amnesia when you just have that hype overload. And again, guys, this is Pool C1, so you guys can follow home along. Go to smash.gg, look for NEC Mortal Kombat 11. A great down one here by Terminator, and I didn't know Jackie could get under that last 1-2-1 hit there. I feel like that's going to play a big factor in this matchup.
That's really scary. If Coach Steve knows the matchup or even can pick up on that quick enough, he could start with punishing one of Terminator's best strengths in the neutral, and even then, catching Biohazard. Biohazard, one of the few players to actually hold on to his defensive meter because he loves flawless blocks.
Yes, loves it, loves it. That flawless block up two is coming, no doubt about it. Great blocks here from Biohazard, trying to stay patient. Coach Steve trying to bait something out. Gets the forward throw here. Biohazard in a bad spot. I believe one throw away from dying here in the corner. The overhead connected, but doesn't commit to the fatal blow. And I think that would have been enough, but he just didn't believe.
Oh, that definitely will.
Did you see how fast Coach Steve broke away? He was able to react to getting hit by that overhead, attempted to break away, but those quick reactions were his demise. As you can see down there on the bottom right, Coach Steve having no defensive meter. So if Biohazard gets the knockdown, it is party time.
Listen, man, you get hit by that forward two, there is no escape from that. Beautiful dunk by Biohazard. And again, the mix is just really starting to pay off. This is the type of playstyle that we know Biohazard to have. It is in your face, aggressive, and just unrelenting. I mean, command grab after command grab.
He won't stop!
Dead. It is
He's dead! Flawless victory here from Biohazard. Please make a statement. Give me a fatal. No. Either way, flawless victory and absolute steamrolling here from Biohazard. If you give this man a command grab, he will make any character work.
I'm pretty sure I said like one sentence and the round was over. He touched him twice and it was done. But that is where Terminator excels. Not the best in the mid-screen, but up close, an absolute monster with the overhead and low starter. Tick grabs accompanied along with it as well.
And he is just making work of Coach Steve here, pushing him a little bit closer to the corner, going for the run stance command grab here.
Mid as well.
Yes, 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 yes. You have to jump it, but once you jump it, you got a big combo. You have all the time in the world. If that command grab whips, you have all the time in the world to punish. But that's the thing. He could not command grab and actually cancel it into that uppercut you see there. So very tricky stuff. A lot of guessing happening here.
Coach Steve used that breakaway at the very end of the round, and that is definitely going to cost him here. I mean, this game number 2 is all Biohazard right now. Coach Steve hasn't really had a chance to even play, and this is exactly what we know out of Biohazard. Non-stop momentum and just unrelenting pressure. I am pretty sure he's dead.
He won't
and
stop.
He is definitely dead.
He won't stop. And Coach Steve can't even believe his eyes.
I literally read his lips. He goes, that was fast.
His eyes told me everything.
I wish we could get a slow motion replay of what he said. I guarantee he was like, that was fast.
That was so fast. Biohazard, like, that's what he needs, man. He needs Oki and he needs a command grab. And I think Terminator fits that perfectly. Biohazard reacting to no delay wake up, slight delay wake up, and long delay wake up, and then saying, I'm going for my mix. I'm hitting you with the low, I'm hitting you with the overhead, or I'm hitting you with the command grab. So take your pick, buddy. Choose your poison.
And then just all the damage to follow up along with all those. Like, Terminator seems to really fit his playstyle. You know, he comes from Kano, Ripper especially, where it's just non-stop command grabs, but the risk was so high. Terminator, that risk has definitely been reduced with all the different mind games and even just being safe in general. I think it's a really good pick from him. I'm happy we finally had a chance to see Terminator. The only Terminator we've seen, or at least I've seen on stream, but successful as can be in the top 16 while it's in the losers bracket, still going to be seeing him on later tonight.
Oh, yes, we are. So if you've got some Terminator hype left in you, don't go anywhere, because right after this block, we're jumping right into the top 16, where Biohazard has qualified. I mean, absolutely incredible. And really, that's what it is. That shows you what a damaging overhead that you can't react to how well it complements that command grab, because you're scared of the low, you're scared of the overhead, so when Biohazard knows you're gonna block, here comes command grab, and he just puts you in that same situation over and over again, and that's really something that Kano doesn't have, and that's really like a box that's not really checked off when Biohazard plays Kano. It's, how am I gonna make anyone afraid of my overhead? Terminator, everybody's afraid of that overhead because it leads into so much damage.
And then even then, he was keeping it relatively basic. There are so many layers, you know, the low you can tick into the command grab, but that's only for when people start catching on to your antics. So I think we're gonna be seeing a lot more. There was plenty more tools at Bio's disposal, but he kept it simple, and that was the way to go. Sometimes you don't have to be all cute with your mix-ups.
No.
Keep it simple, and especially with damage like that, that's how you advance into the top 16. But now, Deadly Rebel back on the screen. A heartbreaking loss earlier.
Yes, it was. And this is going to be, again, the losers finals of the C pools. This is the losers finals of C2. Our final C pool losers finals. I think I misspoke earlier and said that the last one was, but I didn't read my note card just quite right. So Deadly Rebel, we saw him doing fantastic against Ninja Killa. That was incredible. I've never seen Ninja Killa so shook in my life.
And it's funny because you can't tell from his facial expressions, but you saw it in the gameplay. He had a lot of drops going on. And Deadly Rebel, really, I even spoke to him afterwards during our break. He had it, and I guess the fatal blow didn't come out, so he got the full string instead, and then Ninja Killa just caught him whiffing, and it was all over. He has to shake that off. I know that's going to be in the back of his mind, because otherwise he would be done for, you know, pretty much the next few hours until top 16 winners.
Exactly.
Now he's got to fight through. He can make it happen, but this is a stressful situation. You know, last NEC, or last pro competition event until the LCQ, he wants to be able to place really high. And now we're finally getting to see, hopefully if he sticks with it after this button check, is Untamable Jade, Variation 3.
Yeah,
I haven't really seen a lot of it at all.
Yeah, she has a lot of things that kind of, and I feel like this has kind of been like a constant theme with Jade, is she likes to control those projectiles, whether she's turning on the purple stuff to become immune to projectiles or reflecting them back with her staff spin. So it's really interesting stuff because, you know, this is, I wonder what that staff spin is going to do to, you know, those specific projectiles that is spare change collected. In the air, throwing out those vials, I'm not sure how that's gonna, what the properties are on that to reflect them. Yeah, what comes back? Does a regular projectile come back, or does the DOT come back? I'm
Maybe
pretty sure
nothing even happens. It's like Noob Saibot, if you reflect his clones, nothing happens. And Nightwolf, just throwing that out there. But anyway, we're gonna move on from that. That could go on a tangent, but that's fine. So here we go, another match to see who qualifies for Losers Top 16 here at NEC Collector out of Deadly Rebel.
It promised no return on my investment.
Defending your realm's honor is not enough.
I love these shows, man. I have to watch them.
I do too. I do too. I love how you can hear the difference when the character's wearing a mask. I mean, that effect is perfect. Absolutely perfect here.
I always have to. I have to pay attention to this. But now, so we're going to see a little bit of Untamable. Does have a couple new strings at the disposal with her back, too. No Air Glaive, obviously.
Air Glaive specific to Variation 1. Hold on, trying to get in there, but Deadly Rebel being very patient, blocking all these offensive moves here.
Oh, I think he missed the timing on that flawless block. Got hit by the second of the 4-4, then had to force himself to break away from that. And Deadly Rebel, we're seeing a lot more gimmicks coming out right out the start. A lot of roller cancels, a lot of pokes, a lot of, pretty much just a lot of everything that we are not used to seeing.
Oh yeah, definitely. And again, I'm just kind of paying attention to how well this variation can utilize that back two. You never know when she's going to cancel into the rest of it. And this variation also gets a specific sweep that hits multiple times and extends a little bit longer than it does in the other variations. Chucking out the projectiles is Deadly Rebel, just trying to stay patient, trying to find his opening, trying to connect with those lantern tosses, but hold on, he was ready. He was absolutely ready at the hit of those two buttons, going right into the fatal blow, and this is gonna be enough. A big slice to the throat here, and Deadly Rebel making a statement, but using that finite resource that we all know as Fatal Blow.
You want to talk about reactions. That was picture perfect. Just go ahead and throw out the Fatal Blow. He needed to be able to do that. And now,
great block of the overhead. A little bit slow, but definitely a contender here when it comes to Jade's arsenal, especially when it's up close.
Goes for the setup instead. Still a respectable amount of damage, honestly. Almost 28% and then leading into the setup.
Yeah, I mean, overall, the sum of that damage is overwhelming.
I guess the escape failed as well. Jade does have a crushing blow grab off of her forward tap. That does lead into a combo, so we might be able to see that. Deadly Rebel taking his time.
Oh, no.
Definitely a mistake.
And it could have been a bigger punish there for Deadly Rebel, but I don't think he believed. He didn't commit to that forward 3. Ducking right under, trying to find some DOT situations. Deadly Rebel not trying to take any risk at all here as he lunges in with that forward 3, going right into the full string hit, confirming just enough here, and that's gonna be all she wrote.
And that's exactly what I kind of expected. Just pure solid play from everywhere on the screen. I was a little concerned. A lot of people don't have matchup knowledge against that variation of Jade, but he seemed to be really comfortable, blocked pretty much everything that's new to that variation, and just didn't get caught by any gimmicks. It was just solid play all around. Now, Burning Odie is going back to character select screen. I would imagine he's going to switch variations.
Possibly switching variations. He was getting a little bit of coaching there from Viz. Shout out to Viz, holding down the Philly scene. And I'm not sure what Viz told him, but again, another Jade specialist, a down 2 specialist, if you will.
Oh, absolutely. Come on, we all know that is the specialty, man.
It's so good. It's so good.
Now, I believe he did switch to Jaded. Obviously, Deadly Rebel will be sticking with Spare Shade. Easy opening off the beginning, and a late breakaway as well. No punish to follow up. I think that's what he was going for there.
I feel like, especially when you're going up against Collector in the spare change variation, I feel like those aggressive late breakers are not worth it. Because most of the time, if they know you have breaker, they're just going to set up DOT. So whether you're breaker or not, he's going to be okay. And you're going to be eating a lot of green DOT damage on your wake up.
And speaking of DOT, I mean, all he has to do is just sit back and do this.
Oh, hold on, Jaden running right through it.
Will taking his time, 4-1 staggers, but no last breath, and honestly just confirming it's that very Aaron Black-esque to just kind of close out that round. And now Deadly Rebel on the verge of making top 16, yet another collector in the top 16.
It is possible, it is possible. Hold on, Jaded going in with that running stance, stabbing him right in the head as she just jumps on, plays piggyback. Hunting down that back roll, absolutely textbook, beautiful play here by Bernanoni. Now Collector's got his back up against the corner, mobility a little bit limited, no real estate to play with, no real estate to shimmy back and forth with. Hits him with a big mace.
They go the up three, such a good range on that. I want to see Burning Odie get in. Jaded is good at locking characters down on the ground. It is time to stay in, but misses the punish, and an escape failed to follow. Deadly Rebel, the next grab will do a lot of damage. Just playing patient now.
Oh, he's trying to bait him out to doing something, possibly committing to a forward 3. But now Deadly Rebel not biting, being very patient, wanting to stay back. And there it is, the purple stuff is activated, ready to go. Gonna be immune to projectiles for a very short amount of time before I can even finish the sentence. Throwing the glaives here, going for it. That leaves her very negative, and she had the bravery, the courage to hit down 1 after being so negative in that situation.
At that point, you're so close to winning that round. Maybe just mash it out. When in doubt, mash it out, okay?
That's the monster mash. All right.
Nice little optimization there. 20% Jaded, obviously, you know, as a character doesn't really do a ton of damage, but every little bit counts. And this corner pressure is actually really scary. Going for little bits of damage again, and just look how much she has to life lead by in just a short amount of time.
That's a huge life lead. I love how she didn't commit to anything really devastating there, just going for that short little butterfly kick and being able to block even though he rolled right past it. This is a bad spot here from Deadly Rebel. He's got to make the comeback. Didn't anticipate the follow-up here. Oh, the 4-3 connects, but didn't go in anything big here.
It's not out of it just yet, but the chip damage is definitely starting to be an issue. Shimmies him with a forward 1. Okay, this is the start. This is what Deadly Rebel needs. No breakaway for Burning Odie. The setup to follow. The hit confirmed.
He just did it! He just did it! I don't know why he just did it. He was so sure he was gonna press something. He was so sure he was gonna jump after that situation, but Bernanoni showing how he got here, how he got into the losers finals by being an incredible Jade player. What a set so far.
It's just so hard to see that happen. That is the second time he had pretty much the round done with a fatal blow. Messed it up again. He needs to shake it off. It is time. We're in game number 3. You want to go in the top 16. short-term memory. It's time to move on.
I mean, yeah, you can't change the past. You can't let the little mistakes bother you at all. You need to keep on trucking. As simple as that. So now the purple stuff didn't get a punish, actually was a counter. Not sure what Bernardoni was trying to do afterwards, possibly backdashing to get a little bit more space between himself and his opponent. Oh, looking for something, and this time now Deadly Rebel adjusting to it, anticipating the amplified shadow kick.
But no punish to follow up. He really needs to get used to this timing. Nice looking from there on the forward three. Going to do a respectable amount of damage. I'm just going to end it a little bit earlier, still 28%, and this should definitely be Deadly Rebel's round.
Oh, not quite yet. Oh, there it is, the mace. I mean, it's so great. All you have to do is get out of range of that up three, and you can really hold down a character once you knock them down.
There we go. And this is that sweet spot that Collector likes being. Nice little, I like the risk from Burning Oni. He hates that range, especially against Collector. Do the shadow kick and get out of there. And now, Deadly Rebel, a lot more defensive this time around. Okay, nice scout on the down two. That would have done a lot of damage. Beautiful shimmy to follow up. And again, no breakaways available by Burning Oni.
Got the DOT, so much green fire on the screen, and that's gonna be a full combo punish here from Deadly Rebel. Gonna try to confirm as much damage as possible. And oh my god, the crushing blow!
Wait,
but no follow-up.
I mean, but at this point, nothing else to work with. That was pretty much all Deadly Rebel. Even the poison just would have killed at that point. Yeah. Deadly Rebel doesn't. It looks like Deadly Rebel lost. Like he just didn't seem happy about that. But he did make it into the top 16, eliminating Burning Oni from the tournament. Still an impressive showing. Top 32 is definitely nothing to hang your head over.
Oh no,
especially
definitely
in
not.
this competition.
No way.
You know that.
No way. I think what you saw there at the end was maybe a little bit of the frustrations from Deadly Rebel, knowing that he's got to play his A game if he wants to make it far in this competition.
Right.
And I don't think that was his full potential there, dropping a few follow-ups, especially after that crushing blow hit at the end.
Right.
A little uncertainty that I'm seeing, at least that's what I'm reading from his face, his mannerisms, and his body language, is he's not happy with himself. He's okay that he won, made it, but he's a competitor. We're all competitors, so we know how much that win really means, and we know what it takes to be the best.
And you know what, and it's one of those things too where when you make mistakes with the fatal blow, not connecting the fatal blow, that could have went an absolute disaster. That could have been terrible. And that was the second time it happened to him. I think he's thinking a lot about that. Granted, he's in the top 16, really good. Congratulations to him. But he knows, he's a competitor. He knows that he needs to clean things up moving forward. Because obviously, top 16 is great. But for a competitor like him, who's really been super close to a huge breakout performance, he wants to go farther. And in order to do that, he just has to clean things up. So he has some time. Like we said, top 16 won't be playing until about 8 p.m. Eastern. So he has some time to relax. And now. This is Deoxys against Honeybee.
Yes, and this is the two-seeded players in Pool D2. Again, you guys can follow along on Smash.gg. This is the winners finals. Deoxys being the high seed in this pool, and Honeybee being the lower seed in this pool. Not the lowest, but basically seed 2 of this pool. They made it in perfect fashion, I guess, through all the other mentionable players in this pool, which are K7 Show Off and Forever King. So not sure what happened off stream, but this is the winners finals here. Deoxys and Honeybee. Deoxys had a great start of this season, getting that top 8 at Combo Breaker.
Right.
And Honeybee being an overall great NRS player, phenomenal flash in Injustice 1 and 2. Great Devore player in in MKX, but not really getting the results that I think he wants. Again, we know how competitive he is. We know how confident he is. Maybe this last chance is a chance for him to, solidify his name as a top player in Mortal Kombat 11.
I think so too, and unfortunately, we talk about the points all the time. Leading into Final Combat, Honeybee is 23rd in the pro competition. So even if he wins this tournament, it's not really enough.
No.
Deoxys, on the other hand, completely solidified for the finals later on. But again, Honeybee, this could be a good statement for moving on if he chooses to go to LCQ. And Deoxys, with upgraded Jackie, completely dropped Garrus from what I understand, has been playing upgraded since right after ECT, even beforehand, but it's just completely mastered it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, he is guaranteed for the final combat. So, really, Deoxys doesn't have much to lose, and that really affects how people play.
I think so, but on the other hand, you know, if I'm in Deoxys' position, I want to play well, not just for the, you know, the mental stability of it. You want seeding points moving into the final. The fight is not over when you get qualified.
No.
You want to be in a solid position. But look at Honeybee right now with all this damage. Beautiful scout on the grab there. This will not kill. I don't think this is actually going to kill Jackie. One of the lower end damaging fatal blows.
Yeah, especially after a really ending combo here, but hold on, this is very close. No, just like Big T called it, it didn't kill. You were sweating a little bit when that damage bar was going down.
I stared so hard at the screen. I was like, is this gonna kill? I wasn't sure. That was a beautiful scout on the down 4 anti-air by Deoxys, because otherwise that would have been a terrible way to start out. And again, another bait. This is the layers that Upgraded brings to the table.
Yeah.
Very, like I mentioned before, very Hellboy-esque of Injustice 2.
Yeah, a lot of, or not even just Hellboy, but also Blue Beetle, who Deoxys was, a great Blue Beetle player in the Injustice 2 days. Crushing blow here from Honeybee, getting the life lead. Now he doesn't really have to commit, but we all know Upgraded Jackie is just,
no!
No!
Listen, both these guys have been here long enough, all right? Rule number 1, when you sit down at a setup, you disconnect the controllers. It is such a simple rule. I guess we're gonna wait to see what the ruling is on that. I think they have to replay the game. I'm pretty sure that's what the ruling is.
Also, if they cannot, if they can't find out whose controller it is, the only way to get out of the screen is to restart the PS4.
Hey, listen, man.
If they cannot find who pressed it, it could have been anyone who played on the stream station, and you can see Honeybee smiling there because he knows this is kind of my fault. I should have desynced as soon as I sat down here. And, you know, unfortunately, you know, we get so caught up in the hype of competing. You know, the adrenaline is running. You're not thinking of all these other factors outside of the game. So how are we going to play this out is what their body language is telling me here. Might as well desync the controllers now. And again, you guys can have it was one controller.
It was one.
It was the last person who was there then.
All right, so listen, it was who just played? It was Deadly Rebel and...
I believe it was, and Bernanoni.
Bernanoni.
One of them.
One of those two is the culprit. But regardless, it's not on them. It's always on the person at the setup. They're going to try to figure out what's going on here. I'm pretty sure they're going to end up replaying the game. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I mean, you have to replay it at this point. The clock is ticking.
Yes, yeah. You didn't even press start. You didn't even have the decency to press start and stop the bars from refilling or the clock from going down. And
I think they're talking with one of the TOs right now.
Yeah.
He's gonna you have to restart it at this point. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. If I'm in Honeybee's situation right now, I'm pretty happy.
That's true. He was down around.
He was down around. He got, honestly, it's a really good case scenario for him. I mean, I would be a little bit more happy. Now, if I'm Deoxys, not exactly the happiest camper. He was on the verge of taking the first game. Granted, remember we said this is winner's side, winner's finals of this pool, so winner gets in the top 16. And then they just play on later. And at this level of play, mistakes like that can really hurt someone.
Yes, they absolutely can hurt anybody. No matter how strong you are mentally, these things tick away at you little by little. Upgrade Jackie, great block of the low. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it is very unsafe. But I don't know how Honeybee knew it was coming.
Now listen, this is take 2 of game number 1, and it is already completely different than what we saw earlier.
We saw Deoxys make the comeback in that first game with that very, you know, almost killing combo there with the fatal blow. No, I think Deoxys is looking for a roll forward there by Honeybee, but Honeybee was still blocking, holding onto it. A little manipulation of the trajectory here from Jackie Briggs. She is upgraded with lots and lots of jumping options. Beautiful reversal counter. It just stuffs the fatal blow. If that fatal blow does not get that armor, anybody's fatal blow, until at least 5 frames of the startup.
Exactly. And you know what? Honestly, this is playing out just like the first game. Used the fatal blow, got the first round. But we're already seeing adaptation out of Honeybee with Jackie's air options. We're seeing a lot of down 2s, we're seeing a lot of down 4s under it, but he has to be careful of that because if Deoxys delays it at all, it will mess up the anti-air, and that's where the layers come into play.
Yeah, the normals do have recovery, and while you're recovering from anything, you cannot block, so be very careful when you press those buttons. But right now, this looking like all Deoxys here. Deoxys completely in the driver's seat right now. kicking Honeybee back into the corner. Honeybee just kind of micro blocking there, possibly looking for some kind of throw, but says, hey, I'm gonna give him a throw of my own.
I love how Deoxys played the end of that. He knows, like, Honeybee was more antsy than Deoxys was. He had a beautiful wife lead. Deoxys could just kind of sit there and wait for Honeybee to make his own mistake. There was no reason to overextend at all. Honeybee, as you could tell by his face, not exactly happy about that first game. But the idea is there. The matchup knowledge is there. He's just making a lot of mistakes on these anti-airs and just really timing them wrong.
Yeah, and again, you have to know what she's going to be doing, so it's not as simple. It's not a clean anti-air. You have to know if she's going to come down right away or delay it. This hurts. I mean, this is a steamroll here from Deoxys. He is not letting up. He smells blood in the water.
I mean, that was almost a flawless at that point. Not even 10% really taken off of his life. Deoxys on set point to move into the top 16 on the winner's side. Honeybee really needs to make something happen, but Deoxys is playing so sporadic and just so out of control, it's hard to read the movement, and that's where you can excel as an upgraded player.
Oh yeah, definitely. I love that flawless block up to from Honeybee, able to kind of force Deoxys to just, come off with some resources.
And it really is, like, he is just so hard to read with this movement that Honeybee is just forced to sit there and block. There's so many different options, and even now getting caught again, left standing, 4-3 to follow up. Honeybee having the breakaway, but I mean, this is pretty much curtains at this point.
It absolutely is. Honeybee trying desperately to use that anti-air up shadow, but it wasn't enough. Jackson still got around it, and Deoxys taking it. Honeybee with a slight little eye roll there, but Honeybee still is in it. He's going to the losers finals of the lower bracket. See, we called it both the loser and the lower bracket right there in one sentence, where he is going to be, if I were to bet, he's either going to be playing K7 Show-Off or Forever King because they are in that pool as well with them. Not sure who lost to who, but you guys can follow along by going to smash.gg, click on NEC20, then click on the Mortal Kombat 11 event, and you guys will see all the action that you missed through the brackets.
Now, Forever King is another player that obviously we have not been able to see on stream yet. I would assume, especially now that he is in the loser side. He got 9th at ECT, which is a really good showing. King has always been this just kind of unstoppable force consistently in the top 16s throughout multiple NRS titles. He's been playing a lot of Garrus, a few different variations here and there. But that's really it. We haven't seen like a huge breakout performance out of him in MK11 yet.
Correct.
And that's to his standards, really. Top 16s are great, but I know he definitely wants those top 8. So I'm curious to see how he's going to make it out of what sounds like a death pool. I mean, Deoxys, Honeybee, and Forever King being in that pool all together, only 2 people make it out.
Yeah,
that is pretty damn scary to me.
It is indeed scary there. And Forever King, like you said, I feel like he's one of the best overall NRS players, especially if you're considering, the timeline right before Mortal Kombat 11 came out. Phenomenal, or pretty good MK9 player, phenomenal Injustice 1 player, phenomenal MKX player, phenomenal Injustice 2 player. But MK11, he's just not finding the same results that he had before. I mean, he was an E-League finalist that first year of Injustice 2, and he's not getting the results he wants. He's not getting the results he thinks he deserves. But we're going to be moving on. This is Pool D4. D is the dog 4, and this is also the winners finals of that pool. Scar being the high seed, and Samij being seed number 2, both of them starting on opposite ends of the bracket and meeting right here in the winners finals. And like I said before, you guys can follow along on smash.gg. The other people to mention in this pool are Punk, phenomenal Street Fighter 4 and 5 player, Kerbalicious, incredible Cabal from the MK9 days, and we have definitely honorable mentions in Relax State, Jackal, and Endikid. Not sure if Relax State actually showed up to the pool or not. You guys are gonna have to look on smash.gg for that one. But either way, we have winners finals here. Samij versus Scar. Scar being the first winning combo breaker this year over Sonic Fox, but just not getting the big wins after that.
Now, there's a lot to talk about in this set. Scar currently sitting in 11th in the pro competition with 595 points. Samij is 12th with 455. After everything that we've already seen, Tweety being eliminated early, who's sitting at 10th, and like we talked about earlier, those points are so close. Now we're taking a look. None of these guys want to be in losers right now. They both need to be placing super high. So looking at both of them, Samij is definitely going to be rocking Cassie Cage. And then Scar has Kung Lao and has Sonya. We've been seeing a lot more Lao out of him. But like we said, there is so much riding on this. If you want to make it into the finals and avoid the bloodbath that LCQ is going to be,
I don't want to be that competitor.
If I was competing, man, I don't want to be at the LCQ. Especially now, Intercontinental was this weekend as well. Shout outs to Nivik for winning it, by the way. That was incredible.
Great
Foxy
grand
getting
finals.
second. And then Dizzy being there, not doing as well as he wants to, but he's still qualified for the finals. But VGY didn't do as well as he wanted. So he's going to be at LCQ, along with everybody else, all the other killers. But now, here we go. Getting us started with a down 3 into a back grab. This is winners finals of Pool D4.
And Scar's playing a lot of Kung Lao as of lately. He didn't use Kung Lao at Combo Breaker. He was pretty much just sticking with Scorpion, and his other main is escaping me right now, but I remember him playing a lot of Scorpion there at Combo Breaker. A huge combo here from Samij, and Samij also playing a different character at Combo Breaker. He was really into Katana for a very long time, but I guess since then has decided to drop her and focus on Cassie Cage.
And he's a loyalist to Cassie Cage at this point. He's been playing her for a good couple of months now. He just believes that this is the character for him, and he has been making it work. He's been doing really well with her, but again, Scar, just being the player that he is, it doesn't matter what character he's playing. He's going to be able to put up a fight.
Yeah, Kung Lao is a very high-risk, high-reward character. I mean, it's those down pokes into the raw spin are absolutely worth it for him because how much damage that he can inflict on the right guess here.
And that crushing blow giving him all that damage, 40% and corner pressure to follow up with. Not the best way to start the round if you're Samij.
40% there, literally for very few resources here. Does have the crushing blow.
And Samij is trying to catch him, you know, throwing out multiple down 3s by counter poking with forward 4. Scar's not biting. He's playing super solid right now, not overextending, not being super button happy, and that's why he's already sitting on almost a 1-game lead. But now, Samij, you can tell he's starting to get in his head a little bit. We've seen a lot of forward grabs. You know the shimmy is going to be there eventually. But right now we're here controlling some space.
A little fall spot here. Yep.
All it takes is one opening. All it takes is one opening, and then with Samij, you know, he's contesting the neutral with a lot of down 4s, which is good. Cassie has a phenomenal down 4, but there's nothing else that he's really doing with that. It's a lot of 1-1s that Scar is not biting the shimmy on it.
Nope.
So there's no damage really being put out besides a couple down 4s. Meanwhile, Scar, you know, dishing out 40% for a corner combo is just, that's the whole game right there.
But that's what it is, man. Kung Lao does so much damage. Kung Lao hits like a truck, and one of the most mobile characters, especially because sometimes you're just so scared of the power, the priority of that dive kick that you just say, okay, I guess I'm just gonna let him keep jumping in, and that's when Kung Lao can party. That's when he can play. He doesn't have any traditional mix-up in the sense of overheads or lows, but a very great throw game, a very great throw strike game.
Yeah, the striker grab game is really what Kung Lao is all about. But you know what, if I'm Samij, I want to start looking for those flawless blocks on the jump-ins. To keep him out of the air and then control the ground game like Cassie Cage is known to do.
Yeah, definitely. So let's see if Samij can make that adjustment just like Big D said. Looking for the counter hit there, so it does lead to a decent crushing blow. And you know, Samij being a little bit careful there, waiting for Scar to jump. Great anti-air there. And Scar trying to dive kick over those little low gunshots. Now they're just low because of the visuals. They do not hit as low. They actually hit as mid to the counter hit here. 24% in the favor of Samij, and that's a big punish there. But Scar doesn't convert into more damage, possibly thinking he was gonna go into a breakaway, and that's gonna be a shot confirmed there for Samij. Samij fighting back, adjusting to the situation, and showing everybody why he deserves to be here today.
And this is exactly the adaptation I want to see. He's playing a lot more defensive. He gets his anti-airs and he gets the damage and he backs off. That's why he's playing so much better this time. Much more patient on the mind games with the orbiting hat if Scar spends both the meter. And just playing a lot more slippery. And again, not overextending, staying back, keeping his distance.
I love how comfortable Scar is, so just flawless blocking as many projectiles as he possibly can. It doesn't seem like it's going to be avoiding a lot of damage, but that little chip avoidance is going to add up in those nail biter situations.
Again, controlling the space with those down 4s. Now, he's forcing Scar to stay grounded, which is what you want to do against the Kung Lao.
Oh, yeah. Now he's stop him, jump him. Oh, it hurts. A great whiff punish here by Samij. He drops the ender, wants to put him in a restand situation, but instead dropped it and gave up a lot of damage and got no restand situation.
And you see, you saw Samij getting a little bit antsy right there in the up close range.
Yeah.
Decided just back off. It's been paying him a lot, giving him a lot of distance.
Yeah, back off. Don't make the guess on his wake up, especially because Kung Lao has, I think, in my opinion, one of the best up threes in this game. But we haven't really been seeing Scar doing it because Samij is just backing off. Again, hit confirm into the high gunshot. Samij tying this up 1-1.
Now, this is the Samij that I'm used to seeing. And now Scar, he's going right back into it with Kung Lao. I honestly wasn't really expecting him to switch characters, although we do know him obviously winning Combo Breaker with Sonya. But he's been putting all this work into Kung Lao, and he's not playing bad. He just needs to be a little bit more patient.
Yeah.
Maybe throw out a couple more grabs. Samij is not biting the shimmies. Let's be real about that. He has not gotten shimmy once.
No.
So go for the grabs.
Go for the grabs, test his ability to react. And throws in this game are, you have to tech forward throws differently from back throws. So it's always a very strong tool. But you gotta watch out because they do connect as highs. So if a character is just ducking and not blocking, that could lead into a lot of damage not in your favor.
I'm loving these down one and standing one anti-airs out of Samij. You know, you rarely see that out of a lot of the characters that we see on stream, but Samij has a timing with it. And against Kung Lao, his jump-ins are really strong.
Oh yeah, very incredible jump-ins.
Go again, counter-poking with 4-4, stopping the multiple pokes in their tracks.
Yeah. Samij just waiting for that frame advantage and going right into the mid. And Cassie has one of the best mids in this game. So it's really tough you're always gonna take a risk if you're looking to not respect those plus frames that Cassie Cage has put herself in, whether that's blocking something that's negative. Oh, hold on, crushing blow. Gonna go into a big combo. Is she gonna break away? Yes, has no resources at all.
Oh, it's just the background. That was so gutsy to pull that off, but still goes for it. I was ready for Scar to just fatal blow. I was like, you know what, just let it rip. At this point, 1-1, just let it rip. Get that first round on the board, but now Samij sitting on set point to advance to winner's top 16 and has all of pretty much the rest of the stage to work with. Can back up wherever he sees fit.
Yes, he definitely can. So Scar needs to make the connection here, possibly cut off that real estate, going for a back throw, as I was literally about to say, now turning the tide. Samij is the one in the corner, now with limited real estate and limited wiggle room.
And then even then, Scar got that escape fail loaded, so a back grab will do a lot of damage. But knowing Scar and what I've seen, he likes going for forward grabs.
Because this opponent is gonna keep teching back grab.
It's pretty much free at that point.
Yes, it is. Let's see, Hole get the forward four here. Now she's gonna have no breakaway for the next combo, but Scar not having any offensive amplification bars available, not able to really make it hurt. Back throw, escape failed, but she does not have any crushing blows here. Again, crushing blows are very specific to every character and every variation. Not all the characters have throw crushing blows, but Kung Lao does have the back one still loaded, might I add.
And you know what? In a best case scenario, Scar doesn't have to use it, and it doesn't look like he's gonna have to. These 1-2-1s all the way across the board. That was perfect.
Yeah, right there, that was Samij looking for throw over and over again, and Scar not giving it to him, not taking the risk, because again, every throw you see is a huge risk as they only hit as highs. Great dive kick there, getting right under. Those last 3-4 rounds, Samij did not put himself in that situation, but Scar was still ready to react like nothing. Dive kicking over that low gunshot.
And then now Samij got the grab tech on that grab, so now the escape fail is gone. He can start over, he can be a little bit more comfortable, but even now, it's starting to get a little bit more aggressive. You know, Scar wants to be able to move into the top 16, and the only way to do that is to start more suffocating pressure. So he's working his way in, patiently, but still working his way in. And the background to follow, there's no doubt on mine, he's moving in.
Definitely moving in, getting the forward throw, but you see Samij not even trying to go for the techs at all. We know he has the ability to react, but he's saying it's not worth it. It's not worth it to get the crushing blow loaded up. Great respect there from Scar, holding on to block. Not quite enough yet. Scar needs to find the opening here. He does have fatal blow. Can he use it?
He needs to be very careful here. It is almost in chip out territory. Gets the back grab.
Fatal blow territory. Fatal blow territory. Where is it? There it is!
You knew that it was coming. It was right there. And poor Samij. That is the face of a dream sent to the grave.
Not only did he have you know, exactly the right amount of health to lose to a fatal blow, but Scar also barely had any health himself, so even if Samij did press buttons and connect with the armor, it would have hit him out of there, but it was just absolutely perfect, and it just, Samij didn't see it coming. He didn't see it coming, and fatal blow, that fatal blow is very, very punishable in this game.
Listen, man, every time I see fatal blows like that connect, I feel like I got hit by it. And that really felt like I just got hit by it.
It hurts.
Unfortunate. That is probably like one of the worst ways to be sent to losers. You know, they both played super well.
They did. They absolutely
but that
did.
little missed scout on the fatal blow, literally that cost him top 16 at that point. He's moving into losers. He's not out of it just yet, but that he's going to have to shake that off.
I mean, you have no other choice. It's either shake it off or keep playing on tilt and don't play to your potential. And Samij can come back from this. He can adapt to the situation, no problem at all. And again, guys, that was Pool D4 Winners Finals. So Samij still in it. He's going to be going to Losers Finals, where he is either going to be meeting, where he's going to be meeting Kerbalicious in the Losers Finals, which is a rematch from the Winners Semis, where Samij came out the victor. Now, Kerbo can do this, but that's going to be possibly a little bit later when we see it in the Losers Finals stream. Right now, coming up for your viewing pleasure, we have Rewind, who is an EVO champion in Injustice 2, and he's going to be going up against up-and-comer, the Mighty Unjust. I didn't see who he actually won, but on the second seed of this pool was Kevo Reborn. So I don't know if this is Winners Finals or not. Yes, it is Winners Finals. So Kevo Reborn did not get his way here. He's possibly in the lower bracket. Now the Mighty Unjust is a Jersey boy. I'm very familiar with him. He
From
does
your
come,
neck of the woods, yeah.
Yes, he does come to all the locals that I do put on, and he's actually very, very grateful for them. He says, I love being part of a competitive scene. I never had this before because we didn't really have this for Injustice 2. And he's a great, great supporter. Him and his twin brother that you actually saw.
El Kukui, right?
El Kukui, yes.
I was like, they look exactly the same.
They are twin brothers, but they are not identical twins, believe it or not.
Really?
Yes, they
You
are.
could have fooled me, man.
Yeah, me too. I'm just like, there's no way you guys are not identical.
Well, you know what? They're both putting on a really good showing this weekend.
Yes.
And now Rewind, he got 17th at ECT.
Yes.
Obviously not what he wanted, you know. He's at 9th in the pro competition with 670 points. That is not a comfortable position, especially moving into this weekend. Again, a lot of the upsets have helped these players that are still in, you know. Jelly Jiggler, formerly known as Tweety, is eliminated super early.
Didn't even get 17th place.
Nope. So there's 0 points to be had on his end. Now Rewind is going to go ahead with, I believe I just saw Johnny Cage on the screen.
Could be, could be. I wouldn't be surprised, but the Mighty Unjust does play a lot of characters, usually characterized as playing a lot of top-tier characters, so I don't know which one of these guys are going with. Looks like it's Rewind sitting on the player one side, if these guys are doing it correctly. No, is this a...
No, Rewind is definitely playing Cage. Yeah. Unjust is going with seeing double Noob Saibot. Maybe he thinks it's a little bit of a counter pick. I can see how, because Noob Saibot plays so well in the mid-range and full screen, Johnny still wants to be up close on you.
Yes, great use of the interactable there from the Mighty Unjust. Injustice boys just getting right out of there, back into the mid-screen and away from that corner pressure. Beautiful down two here by Rewind, connecting the throw afterwards. Going to be tossing him a little bit farther away, or possibly trying to go for the mix-up there, not going for the towards the corner throw. And this is a showstopper, Johnny Cage. So he doesn't have the arcing fireballs, but instead has the straight fireballs here. So very, very different from the Johnny Cages we've seen.
I don't know about
earlier.
that breaker, man. I'm going to be really honest with you. I think that was a big mistake. I don't know if it was intentional, but now he needs to play really safe, not having breakaway for pretty much half of this round.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be tough because that breakaway cooldown is very, very oppressing. It comes back super, super slow. Great little low amplified shadow here from the Mighty Unjust.
And this is the mid-range that Noob Saibot wants to play in. It's controlling that footsie range and then being able to come in with that forward two when you think it's the right time.
Exactly here, and that's what we're seeing. Great throw escape here by the Mighty Unjust, knowing exactly which way Rewind was trying to, and again, calling it out perfectly. specifically checking against which direction the throws are, and that gets him the momentum he needed to just back Johnny Cage off and finish him off with those low shadow kicks.
And he's just locking Rewind down, right? Like it's a little bit of the control at the mid-range, but even up close, he's doing a lot of mind games off the pokes with the low slide and everything else to follow. Down once in the grabs when he's trying to condition Rewind, and it's all starting to pay off. Now, granted, being Showstopper Cage, when you hit that fatal blow territory, that's when it starts getting really scary. But Unjust, no doubt, especially that it's the third round, has that shadow tackle crushing blow, and that hurts.
Oh yeah, it definitely does. Third round usually is guaranteed for Noob as long as it's not a very one-sided fight in any of the rounds. But, you know, another thing that's very scary about Johnny Cage is all the unbreakable damage he has access to in this variation.
Taking his time. Nice patience by Rewind. This is a really close game right now. Rewind, nice little scout. No punish with the shadow kick on that back one grab. Now Unjust just kind of starting to get overwhelmed by these little bits of strings, and that is no doubt going to close out the first game. Rewind, very smart.
Yes, definitely a textbook play there. And the Mighty Unjust showing a lot of uncertainty here with that body language, especially, or even just the in-game body language, going right into the fighter select, going to Aaron Black, which I believe was his original main back in May as soon as the game came out. But the Mighty Unjust has been known to play various different characters. I'm actually a big fan of his Cetrion. His Cetrion, I think, is one of his best characters. He is also very familiar with Geras. Pretty much any character he feels he needs to learn in order to win all these different matchups across the board. And I feel like he might be spreading himself out too thinly here to get the results that he knows he deserves. That's a big whiff punish there. You don't want to whiff that whole thing against somebody. And Rewind was ready to just get up at the perfect time.
I've always been the biggest advocate that, you know, when in doubt, just stick with your guns. Even though the matchup might not be the most favorable, especially, you know, Aaron Black against Johnny, I've heard is not the greatest, but you have that comfortability that you've had by playing the character for so long. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Unjust take us to a game 3, but whiffing a down 3 against Rewind is not the way to do it, forcing himself off of that defensive meter. And now this is just what Cage is known to do. Plus frames across the board, striker grab.
Oh, great jump in, especially, and look at that recognition there. Unfortunately, whoa, hold on, no, didn't get there in time for the punish, and Rewind was ready to block. What a little scramble there at the end. I mean, I thought it was a great call out from the Mighty Unjust, knowing that the breakaway was coming, throwing down the acid for the DOT afterwards, but Rewind played it perfectly after that.
And then even now, you see him going for a lot of down fours and pretty much trying to auto shimmy him with Aaron Black's 2-1 string. Rewind has honestly some of the best defense in the game. You rarely see him get opened up by shimmies.
Great reactions there with that shadow kick, punishing that acid drop here from Aaron Black. A lot of them just like to drop that acid all willy-nilly like that, but you can't do that against a caliber player like Rewind.
Oh, unfortunate drop there with the standing twos. That could have done a lot of damage, but honestly, he has such a comfortable life lead. The corner positioning, nice grab tech by Unjust, but this most certainly will be curtains for Unjust on the winner's side. And Rewind making quick work, and we'll be seeing him in the top 16 winners as Unjust continues to fight for his tournament life.
Yes, yes, Rewind making it out of D3 pools. Scar making it out of D4 pools with that crazy fatal blow play, and Deoxys making it out of D2 pools over Honeybee. So the only one that we have left the only winners finals we have left of the pools is the pool that Dragon and Splash are in.
Oh, God.
So, but we don't know. We don't know if the upsets have happened yet.
Right.
You guys can follow along on Smash.gg or wait for the results just like we are. But that was a very, the D1 pool was a very, I would say a very stacked pool. Dragon being seed number 1, Splash being seed number 2.
Oh.
Yes, and I was just about to
minute.
mention, okay, the honorable mentions in these pools are Silvereye, who's had a top 8 at CEO, Pulse, who knocked Rewind into the lower bracket at ECT, Drifter, who I would say is a pretty good underdog, capable of knocking anybody out on his best day. And I would mention Tom Brady in this one, but apparently he was a no-show here at NEC, even though he did register. Yeah. But again, just looking at this pool, it is so stacked with so much talent. Like I said, Dragon, Splash, Silvereye, Pulse, Drifter. and would have been Tom Brady, but here in the winners finals, I believe this is the winners finals. Hopefully you guys, yes it is, confirmed here from production. Pulse coming from New York City. He's been going to absolutely every local he can go to. He goes to Next Level Battle Circuit. He goes to Coach Steve's tournament every other Tuesday in the Bronx. And he's attended every single Mortal Kombat New Jersey event in West Orange and North Bergen, New Jersey.
Let's talk about Pulse for a second at ECT.
Yes,
so 17th, which is honestly really good. He pulled an upset against Rewind. That was what really helped him get that breakout performance. That's a very memorable thing to do if you can beat Rewind, who, like we said, you know, Evo champion for Injustice 2, multiple top 8s across the board. But Pulse usually only plays Aaron Black, which we are definitely seeing right here. 52 car pickup, which is usually the standard. And speaking of standards, Dragon and Setron, I mean, we're looking at pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, no,
waiting on Sindel, though, as he has been super vocal about.
Well, I wonder if that's going to affect his performance this weekend, because he's been playing nothing but Sindel. And I think I remember seeing somebody tweet as a joke that I got so many games in with Dragon this weekend, but he refused to play anyone else besides Sindel.
I will tell you right now, I was in the hotel room with Dragon and a few others, and they were playing casuals, and he was playing Sindel.
That is not helping anybody.
Listen, man, when you love a character, I was doing the same thing at DreamHack Montreal with Nightwolf, all right? I understand what it's like to love a character, but I think you have a good point. He's been playing a lot of Sindel. And he's already qualified for the finals. So the pressure is really off for him, but it's Dragon. He's a competitive player. He wants to win.
Oh, yeah.
After all the second places that he has been through, and that is not something people want to deal with. Granted, second is awesome, but for someone like him who has won an Evo as well, and millions of top 8s, he wants to win a tournament, but Sonic always seems to stand in Dragon's way. But now let's see if Dragon has any rust in his gameplay.
Let's see. Pulse is a great test. Like I said, a very admirable player, very talented. And if you're able to knock down Rewind, you're able to knock down anybody. Chucking or shooting at full range here from that rifle. Now you guys can always keep track of how many bullets are in Aaron Black's rifle by looking on the bottom right of the screen. The bullet count is currently at 5, and I believe at the match start, it starts at 8 bullets.
It does start at 8 bullets. And also, you know what the interesting thing is that Dragon plays Hayate a lot. They're almost considered online training partners. They can play all the time. So he knows this matchup. At the same time, Pulse has a pretty solid life lead right now. Playing the neutral really well, taking a step back, not getting into that natural barrier range where that's really most of the mind games at that point.
Yeah, definitely is all the mind games at that point. I love how Pulse decided to get through the sparks there, the fire sparks or the fire lasers, by going into the stance.
Oh, that was such a beautiful whip punish with the 1-1, but didn't confirm in the fatal blow, and now Pulse has a chance to steal this round away. Gonna keep it safe with the amplified scud shot. Needs to be careful here. Nice block on the 1-1-2. Dragon just being nice and suffocating. Tons of pressure coming in. Both of them are honestly just afraid to hit buttons, and that should be able to, no, not just yet. But Amidi should be able to do it. And the poison, so smart by Pulse. That was almost a tragedy.
I mean, there was so much patience there at the end, and I feel like Dragon almost did not believe that Pulse would not let go of that block button. Pulse is one of the most patient Aaron Black players I've ever seen, and very rarely will dish out that very unsafe slide.
And now, Dragon, we've seen him a lot of times, you know, obviously he's been playing Setron since the very beginning. He's kind of switched more towards an aggressive style. Nice punish by Pulse. Huge crushing blow. Dragon's gonna have to eat all this damage as Breakaway has now just become available. And this is really impressive from Pulse right now. He just seems to be controlling the map from every single range.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Dragon not really getting it until he gets right into Pulse's face, and I feel like even though Dragon has a lot of projectile options, Cetrion can also deal with anything up close.
Oh, and the trade obviously working out Dragon's favor, getting that second round. Now, that crushing blow is what helped Dragon secure it, 100%. So Pulse needs to be, he can take a breath of fresh air knowing that crushing blow is gone, but he still needs to be careful throwing out these whips. Because at the end of the day, Setron may not do a ton of damage, but the map control after her combos is where she really thrives.
Oh yeah, definitely where she thrives, 100%. Oh, going into the stance and just canceling right out of that. The scud shot, there you go, amplifying it. One of the best projectiles as it travels almost instantly over to the other side while nullifying projectiles. Whoa, I thought he was gonna jump there. but Pulse isn't that kind of player.
Interesting kind of read there, but definitely did not pay off. Oh, even gets the crushing blow. Is Dragon gonna break away? Doesn't have enough meter in time. It has to eat all 30%. And now Pulse slowly walking away with the life lead. That was a huge whiff.
It was, but he does have breakaway. He can get out of this. Dragon doesn't have, oh, hold on, no, he's deciding to eat it. Even though Setron is one of the most well-rounded characters in this game, the one thing she does lack is overall combo damage.
She's definitely a little bit weaker on the combo potential, but the mind game's falling off when you keep your opponent standing is where she thrives.
Yes.
And I think Dragon is he really antsy to throw out any sort of zoning tools because Pulse has that fatal blow at the ready.
Oh, he got hit by 2 lasers back to back, and you know, other than that, Pulse played it very, very well, going toe-to-toe with Dragon, so he needs to stay focused. He doesn't need to go into tilt mode. He needs to just stay calm and stay the course. Hopefully not switching away from Aaron Black, but that's just my opinion. I'm not the one down there sweating bullets and playing against one of the most defensive, one of the most incredibly defensive players I have ever seen to play an NRS game.
I would like to see Pulse stick with Aaron Black. He is going to stick with Aaron Black. His defense is where it needs to be to go up against a Setron player like Dragon. You know, Setron is one of those characters that really test your defense.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the patience to do that, she's going to walk all over you. And that's where it showed at the very end of that 3rd round. He lost his patience a little bit, didn't respect the frame trap of the geyser, and then just that was curtains for that entire game. He can make the adaptations and take us to a game 3, but Dragon being the person that he is, while defensive in the first game, we just saw him dash up and do a back grab. Like, this is his time where he likes to switch things up, and Setron is one of those characters where you can play her in a million different ways.
Yeah, definitely one of those characters. Like I said before, you can back off or you can go right up close. She's got the buttons to contest with some of the best normals in this game. Breaking away, utilizing those 2 bars, coming off those resources, but being very, and once you come off those 2 bars, you're very susceptible to any kind of wake up. But like I said, Pulse is very rarely going to dive into that low, unsafe slide. But either way, the first time he did it, Dragon was ready to block and ready to punish.
It's just the presence of mind, right?
Yeah.
Like, just to be that kind of competitor that Dragon is, to know that eventually it's going to be there, so always look out for it. And now Dragon obviously has a strong life lead, but Pulse with the fatal blow, that full stream game is not safe for Dragon.
No, definitely is not. Oh, this is risky stuff, and just like that, the fatal blow reacting with just the pressing, with just the push of 2 buttons.
It's so smart, man. He took that little step back, knew Dragon was going to overextend after the 1-1 got blocked, and just went for the fatal blow. Sometimes you got to spend it in the first round. It doesn't need to be that match ender. And here we go. Now Pulse. Oh, the autocorrect. You gotta love
That was good. That was actually really smart because it was going to cover the option that Pulse knew was coming, which was the far teleport, which gives Setron some of the best mobility in the game. Not only does she have access to the teleport on the ground in the air, but she also has one of the best backdashes in this game. Pulse swinging for his life, getting hit by the wall that Setron throws up there.
And we're seeing, you know, we watch all the time, you know, Dragon play with Setron and how it's always been in the beginning about the natural barriers, but now it's just with 1-1s. The normals are what the real mind game is. Now Pulse trying to go for that grab. He does have an escape fail loaded. That will 100% kill Dragon right now.
Oh yeah, he definitely will. Hold on, getting the escape failed. This Pulse thought Dragon was possibly going to throw him back into the mid-screen, but Dragon's just being malicious right now, hit confirming right into this fatal blow. I think that's going to be enough here for this round. It does scale a lot, but it was so quick into the combo, it's pretty much going to be doing raw damage as we see there, nearly 35%, and Pulse did not have the life to withstand that blow at all.
No, and that was super intelligent by Dragon. Just confirming the fatal blow, get the guaranteed kill, and just move on. Setron having a slower fatal blow, you need to use in those combos, but beautiful crushing blow there. A ton of damage leading in the setup.
Can we talk about how Aaron Black is an incredible mid with that back 2? That back 2 string just kind of, oh, hold on, getting right under the fire laser. But I think Pulse really thought Dragon was going to use that breakaway, and Dragon said, no, I'm going to hold on to it because I think I have breakaway.
And that's why we are behind the table and not playing. So now moving on back to it, forcing Dragon off of that meter. Pulse is very close to closing out the 2nd round. With a little bit, just keeping it safe, going for the scud shot, the amplified, and now the amplified guys are on Dragon. He needs to be careful. One little mistake.
That was a huge mistake. Talk about little mistake, but he does that breakaway. He can go out. Dragon looking for the down two, but nobody was home just yet. Hitting the back two, but getting stopped here by Dragon, and Dragon gonna be taking this over Pulse, moving on to the top 16 on the winner's side. What a nail biter of a set. I mean, you know, if you're Dragon going into this, knowing how high you're seated, how prestigious your whole career is, you're going up against Pulse. It should be like nothing, but Pulse really stuck it in there, and it was so back and forth, man. It was so close.
It was a really good showing by Pulse, but Dragon just kind of having that presence of mind to contest the neutral with 1-1, even on block. Like we said, it has become the main mind game of Cetrion. It's not the natural barrier, but the normals, and that's why Dragon is so successful. Throwing out that 1-1 to contest pretty much a lot of Aaron Black's buttons, that's why he was able to close out that round. And we'll be seeing Dragon in the top 16 winners, despite all the Sindel practice.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes you have to take a little hiatus, and you as a competitor know how good does it feel to just take that little break? Either you're playing a different character for a little bit and then you come back to your main, or sometimes you're playing a different game altogether and you come back to the game refreshed. It's almost like you took a metaphorical nap and you're just waking up.
I mean, honestly, you're right. Like, you need to kind of have that little bit of a break in order to reassess everything. And you come back with a complete, fresh mental state, and that's why you see some players, like, being continuously successful.
Oh, yeah. We saw it with Scar in the Injustice, the second year of Injustice 2 at the Grand Finals. He said he was playing nothing but Red Dead for weeks, and he had a phenomenal performance, a great performance that a lot of people didn't think he was capable of. So sometimes taking the break is okay. And speaking of taking breaks, we're going to be taking a break right now. Big D, thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely.
I had an absolute blast, but Big D, take it away.
Everybody, we'll be seeing you later. Make sure to not go anywhere. Top 16 is going to be coming up right after this.